Okay, so what we're doing today is we are working on linear functions, or not solving linear functions. We are working on trying to be able to solve systems of equations, and these are going to have three variables. The goal is going to be to solve for x, y, and z, okay? And these are tricky, and they're not always the same, but there's some things that you should do that will help. One thing is you should label your equations A, B, and C. That might help you understand which equation you're using. And then the next step that's going to be helpful is you're going to need to combine two, maybe AB, and then do AC. And then when you combine these, then you get rid of the same variable. Now, some of them will be solved easily, but some of them take more time. But again, if you have tricky ones where things aren't going to cross off right away, you combine two combinations and you get rid of the same variable. All right, so number one's a nice and easy example because I already gave you one of the answers. I gave you x. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug x into the second equation because then I only have to solve for y. So I get 4 plus 3y is negative 5. I subtract 4 on both sides and I get negative 9. So I get y is negative 3. Now I have two of the answers. And when I have two of the answers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the third equation because it has x, y, and z. And I'm going to plug in my x. I'm going to plug in my y. And I'm going to solve for z. And so now I have 2, a negative 4 times a negative 4 is a positive 12. So this gives me 14 plus 2z equals 16. I subtract 14 on both sides, and so I get z is 1. Okay? And so that one was a relatively easy one because I already gave you some of the answers. Example 2 is not as easy. So I'm going to start off by, let's separate some space, labeling it A, B, and C. And my goal is to combine two to get rid of things. Well, if I combine B and C, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to rewrite it again. I'm going to rewrite both B and C again. And if you notice, whenever we eliminate things, you have the same number, different signs. Well, a negative y and a positive y, those are gone. A positive z and a negative z, those are also gone. So this one's nice because putting those two together, I was able to cross off two things. And now I know that 3x plus 1x is equal to 16. So I get my x is 16. So, oops, not 16, but x is 4. So I found one answer. Now I need to find another one. To find another one, I'm going to plug it into any of these two equations. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll change colors, and I'm going to plug it in for A. So I get 2 times 4 plus y minus 2z equals 14. And really, this is 8 plus y minus 2z is 14. I would minus 8 on both sides. And so I get y minus 2z equals 6. I need to make another equation look like this with a y and a z. So I'm going to plug this into, and again, let me write what this was. This was A. I need to do this again with another one. This time I'm going to choose B. And so 3 times 4 minus y plus z is 7. So this is 12 minus y plus z is 7. So if I minus 12 on both sides, this is negative y plus z equals 7. And so now I have a y, oh, it's not a 7, hold on. By minus 12, it's actually negative 5, sorry about that. And so now I have these two. Let me see if I can scroll over, I don't know if I can. Now I'm going to need to put those two together and yet one more color. And so now I'm going to put this one with this one. And so I get y minus 2z equals 6 and negative y plus z equals negative 5. And so those are gone. And so I get negative 1z is equal to 1. So that tells me z is 1. So it took a lot of work to find that answer, but I got z is 1. Now finally, now that I know I have my x and my y, or my x and my z, I can plug it into any three of these at the end, and I can find my y. So I'm going to do c, just because c has no coefficients. So it'll be 4 plus y minus 4 plus y minus a 1 equals 7. So I get y plus 3 is 7. So I subtract 3 on both sides. And I get y is 3, 4.